everybody, welcome to another little bit of the talking part of the indoor project. I hope you've been keeping up with the music part of it. I know you've been enjoying our DJs, no question about that. So shout out and big ups to all the indoor project DJs, Bloodline Franco, DJ Narity, Richie Ras, Cyclone, Copper Cyclone, and of course the boss MC Brush One Chromatic himself. And shout out to Jazz and shout out to Judah. So I hope you're keeping up with us doing. Of course, you should see our social media pages on the screen right about now. Panda is going to insert that. And then, of course, make sure you follow us on YouTube. All right? Good. So today we will be talking to a very special guest. As you know, COVID-19 has caused a lot of adjustment in how we do things, how people do things, and all. So we'll be speaking to the vice president of the Guild of Students. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself, all right, about how it's been affecting students, etc. So over to my friend Gabby. Gabby, yeah, proper
Hi,
introduction
Marlon.
of yourself and all of this right now.
All right. Hi. So I'm Gabriela Morris. And as he said, I'm the Vice President, Services and Special Projects of the Guild of Students.
All right. So first of all, what is that job? What does it entail?
Okay, I was going to...
I know you said services and...
Yeah.
There's an ex-VP job also?
So there is another VP. That Vice President is responsible for like sponsorship, for like the bus system, for like security. My VP
That's
is
all like the one with the headache, that other job.
Yeah,
there.
that is down there. Mine is headache too, but so I deal with a lot of student welfare, student financing, so bus gas, all those student services fall under my portfolio.
Bus gas.
Right, so that's where we feed all the students on campus during exam time. Lunch and dinner, big things, yeah.
Trust me, we had that on campus in my day, but that was, we didn't have to do it on hall. Just cook a big pot and anybody reach and just eat some food.
That's still happening but now we try to do a big thing from the guild for students.
Right. I like that. Now, COVID-19, I guess it was... a bit of a surprise because campus was in full swing and then BAM!
Yeah.
I think UA was one of the first places that said, we're locking down. How has that affected the guild and by extension the students?
Well, when COVID arrived, we were in the process. It's one of the busiest times for us. So we were about to have carnival.
Oh, yes.
Election was supposed to be right after, and then we're supposed to go into the exam season. I think NCU actually closed before us, but I must say that the campus administration was very quick to close the campus once we realized that there were actually cases in the vicinity.
All right. Oh, yeah, shout out to NCU. That's from my parish, Manchester, as such. Yes, you had Carnival coming up, and you had... So Carnival has been pushed back. I know that's not your portfolio, but I'm just ask a little bit.
We have postponed it, so we're hoping to have Carnival once school resumes. We have a date. I'm not talking about it yet.
I think that's Chelsea. Let's leave that to Chelsea.
We're very excited and hopeful that Carnival will actually happen. So we're looking forward to that. But right now, our main focus as the guild is getting back on track with school.
Speaking about school, getting back on track with school, you said you're going into exams.
Right.
So how are those still happening? Or are them just decided to just give everybody a good grade and we just move on? Can we just do that?
I wish
No?
it were like that, but no. So over the past few weeks, the Guild Council has been working relentlessly to see what solutions we can put forward for how students can complete their degrees and continue with their education. What we have come up with, along with the administration, is that we will reformat the way how we test students. So all courses won't have the regular exams. What we're looking at doing is to have online assessments. So we'll have research projects, quizzes. So basically it's a whole reform in the way how examinations or assessment will be done.
Oh, you
So-
mean this should have been done long?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, but the online transition is one that we're trying to make as smooth as possible. The university has been very cooperative with the student government in seeing how best we can use the online platforms that we already have to better engage students. So we've gotten 0 rated platforms. That happened. We got that news today.
0 rated
So-
platforms?
Right. So I'm going to get into that. Yeah. So it's something that the guild has been pushing for since we realized that we wouldn't be able to continue with school as normal. So what 0 rated platforms do is that it gives access to students who don't have regular internet access. So you can access it without having Wi-Fi.
Oh, wow.
So we've submitted our online platforms to the service providers, so students can access RVLE, Mayu, Mona, and this is not just for Mona students. So in our advocacy, we also got other tertiary institutions to be able to have this access
As in Jamaica?
in Jamaica.
Quick segue. The changes that are being made on Mona campus, are they the same changes that are happening on Campbell and St. Augustine? Do you know if that's happening there too?
Okay, so each campus has taken a different approach, I'd say, to the crisis, because Cave Hill would have said to some students that they'd have to take a leave of absence. That's the approach that they have taken for some students. It's still an open option at Mona, but we are seeing how best we can get all our students to continue with school. So the semester will be extended, and we'll see how best we can continue from there online.
Extended until roughly?
Until roughly July.
Yo, summer shot.
Basically, no summer.
Summer
so-
shot.
Yeah,
That's
that
like you
was
go right
mashed
into
up.
summer school.
Yeah, so
Oh.
everything is basically fast tracked right now. So we just have
No,
to
that
look
sounds
at
like it's slow track.
well, we just have to look at adjusting
Yeah.
to the new developments.
Okay. That was, you said Campbell has the leave of absence.
Yeah, I'm not
What's St.
totally
Augustine's
sure
road?
of St. Augustine's new protocol.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
All right.
But I know that for open campus, they already have their online systems,
Yeah.
so they'll be continuing business
school
as
as
usual.
normal.
Yeah.
How have the students taken? How have they responded to these adjustments?
I think where we're at now, many students are still a bit confused
Oh.
as to what will happen. So just yesterday we had a press conference where most of the information would have been divulged to students about what they'll be doing. Most students are still very caught up in the fact that, you know, they won't be able to access these online platforms. They haven't paid their school fees. You know that those things deter you from sitting exams. A lot of students too are concerned about the fact that they won't be able to go and work and travel. They can't get back their money.
The money need for make, you know. I mean, remember work and travel is not paper.
So,
Shout out to Brush, the original work and travel man.
so there are a lot of concerns on the minds of students. Many of them have parents who have lost their jobs, who can't go to work, so them not have it. Them not have the money to pay their school fee. And so that's another problem that is put in front of us as student leaders now, seeing how best we can assist those students.
Ow, I can't imagine. All right, so for the students, because was campus like persons living on dorm? I thought I heard something about that, persons having to move off. That was everybody. What about our international students? Did they get like an exemption in that situation?
Okay, so I forgot to say, but I'm in charge of international students also. So
No, it's not like you're in
some-
charge of everything.
Boy, our student activities. So some of our international students, they chose to stay on campus. However, after some countries, such as Trinidad and Barbados, Bahamas, after realizing that the COVID thing to get serious, they decided that they would make arrangements to get their students home. So some of them did leave. However, we still have some persons here, most of them med students, who weren't completely sure of what would be happening for them because their semester start. I think it would start like this week or a couple weeks from now.
They just finish a program.
They do some only for different things.
Start the next one,
But
next rotation.
they decided that they were gonna stay because they weren't sure of what was happening. So I do have a few of them who are here. Also, we have local students on campus because some of them choose to just stay and some of them can't go home.
That sounds like
and some of them work.
Other thing we have to talk about, and some of them work.
Some of them work. So postgrad is still very full because you have working people there. So what we've had to contend with is seeing how best we can assist the students who are still here with us. So we've been doing care packages, grocery. Boy, them a live life. Cereal and
sounds like we need to come to work.
I live life because we've had persons who have come on board who have been very generous. So big up Grace Foods, big up Nestle, big up what them name? Jamaica Biscuit Company, Quality Foods. They've all come on board and they have been assisting us greatly in getting students supplies and so on.
Shout out to all of the corporate persons who have stepped up during this time.
And
all of the individuals, big up with Cinco, all the individuals who have stepped up, on the corporate who have stepped up. If you saw our last interview, we were speaking with Lauren Perrett from Citizens Response, Blue Dot, but Citizens Response in building ventilators and making protective masks for our healthcare professionals. So shout out to every single person who has gone above and beyond the call of duty in responding to COVID-19. Now, students are still on campus, which means that student security should still be something that is up there on the table. Definitely. Have there been any special measures taken during this time in terms of in light of security and so forth?
On campus, we still have the presence of Mona Police. I've seen them doing patrols actually. The curfew also it also impacts the campus.
Does it apply here?
Yes, it does. It does. So by 8, most persons are off.
So, but which is for a good cause. But are there COVID protocols that are being observed on campus? If you know of any,
definitely. Everywhere you go, they give you sanitizer. Really. Hilo has it. The halls have it. But when COVID hit, we actually had a shortage of hand sanitizer because I was trying to get some to do some care packages and it was so hard. So we ended up having to make our own sanitizer here on the campus. We have smart students here that do that kind of thing.
I can get a bottle, just asking.
I actually have one little one left, But SciTech, as well as my program in MedSci, pharmacology, they've been very instrumental in making hand sanitizer. So y'all just
make nice costumes, you make hand sanitizer.
Yeah, we're doing the most over here. So they've been doing that, and that's been helping students to actually, keep themselves safe.
I like that.
I mean, I think we've been doing well. We have water most of the time, so students can wash their hands and so on.
Good. So, I mean, what do you think for next year now? Saying that we are lucky and we are past this and everything falls back into place, right? End of July, and let us say we're out of COVID. Do you see us going back to how it was before, especially in the terms of how education is delivered, how testing is done, etc.? And if we do have the possibility of going right back, are there aspects of what's happening now that you think you should keep or the campus should keep?
I think...
You remember all of that?
I'm trying. I think the situation has put forward a unique idea. I think you should have jumped onto it a long time ago. But I'm grateful for this jolt, and I hope that we'll continue using the online platforms.
Amen.
Right? Because they're there, a lot of lecturers just don't know how to use them. So I guess this was a step. I guess this was a step in the right direction.
Yes.
Right? I think some things will go back to normal, but I think the late start to the semester will actually cause us to have to shift the entire academic year for next year. I think a lot of
They're actually going
changes.
to go late, because even if in July you might hear, listen, school start at mid-August again.
I think it will. I think it will, because we don't want to have orientation off track. But then the other thing that we have to contend with now is the fact that CXC is being pushed, CAPE is being pushed back. So
CXC's multiple choice.
yeah, so it creates a different dimension of how the education system will function after this, I think.
Yeah.
And
it should. It should.
yeah, it should. And I think that students will now have to realign their focus, because this online thing is not really easy, you know. A lot of students are used to being in a classroom with a teacher telling them every 5 minutes to come off them phone, to pay attention. And so
now you're hoping to actually stay on them phone and do some work.
This will be a huge test
Yeah.
to see how students actually function in a digital era. So I'm hoping that they will catch on.
And I'm thinking the university should see the benefit of it in terms of going digital might mean that you're able to widen how many persons
That's
you
so true.
actually have at the university, and also reduce the cost to the
another
university
thing.
in terms of you might less persons who are domiciled here and so forth. So you might widen. Hey, who knows? Maybe they will see
I'm
it.
interested to
Maybe-
see how
maybe they'll see
they'll deal with it.
Now let's talk a little politics. I know the guild elections were supposed to happen,
Right.
and they have been postponed. Are they going to be conducted
The last word I received was that they would be online.
online?
Yes, online elections for the Umona Guild of Students.
Is there a date for that or
We don't have a date confirmed as yet,
What
but
are
we know
your
it will be online.
But what are your thoughts on that? Is it a fair way to go about? Because if I remember guild elections back in the day, you would get a chance to go door to door if you had the time, speak to people see you. Now it might be that somebody with some flashy presentations online win persons over.
Yeah, it's a whole shift in how campaigning will have to take place. I was a bit disappointed about not being able to go door to door, interact personally with students, but I think it forces us now to actually go the extra mile to reach students. So you have to call students. You have to
So
email
like
students.
real outer road election then.
Yes,
Hello.
like real
Canvassing
outer road.
and thing.
Yeah, we have to now make that shift in how we campaign. I think that it will force a lot of candidates to actually market themselves differently. As you said, it's a whole heap of flashy presentations and sponsored posts. That's a new thing here on campus.
Oh, Z.
Sponsored posts.
I haven't seen any yet,
Wow.
on my IG, so maybe that's a good thing.
Oh, gee.
It depends on how I
You
curate
probably
my
so
IG.
say, but yeah.
No, I curate my IG, you know. So
But it's a whole new way of electioneering. I think that less students are now involved in the process of actually looking at ideas, maybe, because I'm not sure if there will be an online debate. And debate is
have
where
a Zoom debate.
yeah, that will probably happen.
could have
Right?
a Zoom
That's
debate.
my idea of what
A
we
Zoom
should do,
debate.
right? Because a lot of students wait on the debates to decide who they're voting for.
Or, I mean, I know you have Orville, so if it has broadcasting capabilities, maybe the 4 candidates, whatever candidates need to be in a room with a moderator like they would do with US elections, and you have that, questions are sent in, and you
And you
ask, and you
answer.
have that sort of debate, and then it's sent out live, and maybe even later delayed to the students, because almost every student has a smartphone. So that's an idea. If
That's
you
an
don't use it, I
idea.
won't charge.
And we have we have Blackboard, so that I think that's on RVLE too, so it can work.
I mean, these things that you're calling, in
Yeah.
my day, our Orville was just go out and make sure the lecturer give you, make sure you get the notes.
It has all these different things, but yes, because we don't
And posters.
use it,
Yeah.
we don't really use RVLE. Because from my program, I can tell you that we don't need to use RVLE. So we're just now learning the system. So after 4 years of being here, we're really just now learning
the
how
system.
to use RVLE.
Hey, listen, man. As you say, you're learning from it, and the admin is learning from it, and you're learning from it. Who knows? We're probably going into a more digital
I think so.
age. Before, I assume that everybody knows what RVLE stands for. What is it? Is it an acronym? It's an acronym, right? Or something like that?
What does RVLE stand for? But it's an online system, online platform for the university. So that's where most of our coursework is placed. So you can go on it, you can have discussions with your class, with your lecturer. So it's basically where they put all the information that you need for every course.
So I really don't have to see people? Basically, that sounds like I don't have to see people.
No, you don't.
Like I could have come here and do a degree and don't see nobody.
You could. You really could.
I mean, mark you, some of us did that back in the day. No, we literally never see nobody. We're not going to class, but all right.
So you can just go on, access your coursework, submit your assignments, and that's it.
So you was prepared for COVID, even if they didn't know that it was COVID that they were being prepared for?
I think one of the things that was a major concern with RVLE is the bandwidth. I think that's the technical term, right?
How much people it can hold and all
right,
that.
because RVLE tends to crash during exam time. So that was my main concern. How can it accommodate all the students that will be online? So I think we've gotten to that point where MITS has worked through those kinks.
More information technology services or something like that, I believe.
Yes. So we should be good to go by April 14th.
And it would be good to go for elections also. And you might actually, just to swing back, you might actually have a higher voter turnout then.
I think so. Because voting is right there at your fingertips.
Yeah, click. And so, all right. So, we were talking to Miss Gabriela Morris. I got that right?
That's
good.
it.
Amen. She's a vice president of
Services and Special Projects.
Services and Special Projects. In other words, she do most everything as the VP. All right. We're talking about the guilds and the University of the West Indies response to COVID-19. And well, fingers crossed that we will be back to some normalcy.
Hopefully.
Shortly. And a big shout out to all of the University of the West Indies students. Please use up the resources that you have. I know it's a rough time, but hear what? We just adjust with sales and we come out better at the end of it. And hopefully this makes us a better institution. I say us because I still feel a part of you.
That's okay.
This is your place to shine.
Okay.
And let us shine. All right? This is the Indoor Project. Please stay subscribe to the YouTube. You should see all our social handles right here on the screen somewhere when Panda goes on doing magic and add it. All right. Thank you for joining us for another little bit of chattings.